The NBA has been amazing, and today we're going to be diving into my new series of weekly updates and information of things that I'm interested in, things that I'm loving about the NBA. Lots to talk about when it comes to what is happening in the NBA, of course, team by team, but sometimes I want to dive into specific storylines of characters in here because to me it's like a TV series. Every year you get something new, something different. And the truth is, LeBron James, Stephon Curry, Kevin Durant, these are their last years, and we have to be grateful for that. And if you're a basketball fan, you got to be grateful for the greats, regardless if they're on your favorite team or not. By the way, I am a Knicks fan, so we are going to have a Knicks segment every single video that we do this. But it's not all about the Knicks right now. I want to talk about just the overall feel of the NBA and how these greats just remind me of how good the NBA continues to be. Regardless if you agree or disagree, the ratings are low because they're shooting threes people try to throw out there. But truth is, it's very difficult to guard a three, especially when they're shooting it from half court like Stephon Curry or my buddy right here from long range. These are the type of things that a lot of people take for granted and don't respect or appreciate about these teams. And they call it, oh, the ratings are low because of it, or things of that nature. NBA has changed, whether it's the three-pointer, the in-season tournaments, or the brand new All-Star break. And we're going to talk about All-Star a little bit, but man, I gotta say, this new All-Star, I don't know how I feel. I kind of like the traditional one, but I don't mind. I've been watching the NBA for 30 plus years. I don't mind seeing something different. And so it's going to be interesting to have 4 teams and all of that good stuff. Let me know who you're voting for in the comments if you're voting. If not, go and vote now because they already put out some polls on who's popular. You can put out your votes and try to get your favorite player in this new tournament style setup. I think it's pretty cool to have a different setups. Like, hey, let's just try something different. It's been stagnant and it's something interesting. But with that in mind, you're watching highlights of the NBA so far in recent time. You know, you talk about great players, you talk about top players and all of that good stuff, but you really don't realize how this era is changing. LeBron James, you know, amazing passer, top scorer, right? Like almost unbeatable with the stats that he's put out, but he's going to retire soon. There'll be another player who takes the mantle of the most popular and the most relevant spoke of on social media and all these platforms and things like that. And for me, that's what I care about because it keeps the season going for me, right? This is a TV show, like I said, in my view, and it's really about like, hey, what is the next entertaining stars that I can see? And if we went down the line, you have the Celtics, who people despise because they've won so many championships, but they have 2 superstar players in the JJs, is what I call them. And you gotta love them. And I think they're incredible. But will they be the future of the NBA? Will they turn into a dynasty? Will they win again this year? It's possible. Of course, my Knicks got something to say about that, but I definitely love them. And then our buddy SGA and the Thunder is literally the face of the NBA. When it comes to the younger generation, he's one of the greats that has emerged. And regardless of all these veteran, you know, legends already, Hall of Famers in my book, we talk about the young guys and we really try to hope to see a better future and what could be. And so it's a mixed bag for me this year where I'm getting to see the legends, the Hall of Famers, the world champions, you know, the argument of who's the best player today versus who's going to be the number 1 player going forward in the future. And that is the question, another question that you can leave in the comments about what you're feeling or you're thinking. That is, feel free to share it. Personally, I'm excited about all of it. And to be honest with you, the playoffs drama is really fun as well. And so I'm excited to see where everybody stands in the playoffs. I do feel like, the Thunder and the Celtics will be, by the end of the season, probably number one overall. And then from there, everybody's going to find their place and then go from there. To be honest with you, the Lakers being 6th right now as of January 3rd is outrageous. The fact that they're even in the playoffs, to be honest. And maybe, they have a chance. The NBA is not going to allow LeBron not to be in the playoffs. And maybe what it might be his last year. Who knows? Depending on what type of playoff run they do. Then you have Stephon Curry as well. These guys have ruled the playoffs in the last plus 10 years. So it's going to be interesting. Personally, I just want good basketball. And I did want to take a moment to talk about something very near and dear to my heart, and that hopefully you guys can enjoy. Right now, we're going into our New York Knicks conversation, and you're going to watch some highlights from December. I want to discuss how good this team is. And yes, I am a loyal Knicks fan. I've rooted for them when I knew they weren't going to win a championship. I still root for them regardless. So this feels really good to be able to say this. They are the 3rd best team in the East, okay? They have 24 wins, and they can basically be the 2nd best team in the West right now. If you put them over there in the West, they'll still be the 2nd best team, but they're currently the 3rd. And as you can see, some of these highlights, some of this great play by all of their players, all right? They have a decent bench. It's not the most depth that you can get, because some of their players are injured, but have a decent bench. Their starters are giving you 120 plus points a game, basically. And funny enough, their defense gets a bad rep. I think that when you're scoring that much, of course, you're not going to be able. The other team gets the ball just as much. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things you can grind out and hold the ball for 23 seconds every play, and your team will only score 90 points a game. Or you can bring the ball up the court, try to find a quick, good shot, and take it. And that's what the New York Knicks are doing. And they have amazing scorers. I mean, of course, we know about Jalen Brunson being an MVP type player, but Karl Anthony Towns came over, and I feel like he got something to prove. And we're watching highlights of him right now. This guy is on an MVP level. And I never thought I'd say 2 players can be MVP-ish. But Jalen Brunson is not giving you 50, 40 to games. He recently did. But the point is he's not out there going too crazy in the stat line, but he's very consistent. 25, almost 10 assists a game type thing. And it's been amazing. And so you have 2 superstar players already. And then you have some very good role players that are really starting to get a groove and make it happen. And that's, to me, it's just a sign of what is possible. Of course, I don't want to talk about the elephant in the room, and are they going to win against the Celtics in the playoffs? You have the Cavs, who are number 1 right now. I don't believe the Cavs will be number 1 or number 2 by the end of the season. My word is that they'll end up 3rd behind New York and Boston. And Boston will most likely be number 1 just because they have the experience. But the Knicks will have 2nd place, which is more than enough. Then they have to battle Boston in the conference finals and then get into the finals against whoever makes it in the West. And so for me, that's it. The Knicks might do one more trade. They have a very great center who's coming back from injury, and a lot of teams are interested in him. And if they trade him and get themselves another big piece, or maybe even 2 pieces that will be substantial, it's going to be a big deal. And I do believe that they will do this, most likely. If not, we'll keep Mitchell Robinson. I don't know if you guys know that center. He's an amazing rebounder, and he's a good finisher. So it could get interesting. So those are just some thoughts of what I'm feeling or thinking right now when it comes to the New York Knicks. I do see them as a contender and not a pretender. Now, I promise you guys, you'll end up loving what you see if you ended up watching the New York Knicks. in the long haul. Hey, but yeah, speaking of the New York Knicks, the last thing I'll kind of point out is, yes, guys, yes, the NBA has changed. I don't want to kind of stress this, but listen, guys, the three-pointer is here to stay. It's a very efficient shot, and the statistics show, like, okay, I can let you try to dunk every game, or I can let you shoot some threes. You're gonna score more points shooting the threes, and so that's why it's there. It's hard to guard, and Kevin Durant said some of the best rebuttal on Twitter. He said, listen, man, it's hard to guard a three-pointer. When everybody on the team can shoot, it's extremely hard to guard a three-pointer. And he makes sense, and that's the right thing to think. Doesn't mean that it's the best basketball. Personally, I like to see people drive. I like to see mid-ranges, like all types of basketball. I'm okay with everything. And so, me, I've accepted the three, and it's a new day, a new game, and it's exciting and interesting. And so, hopefully, y'all feel the same and you're having fun with this season. A couple of points that I want to kind of point out and give you guys scenarios on what's going on. This is kind of like the what to watch. Will the Cavs, who are 29-4 right now, that's an unbelievable run, will they keep this going, or will the Celtics and Knicks surpass them? That's one thing I'm watching. I love the Magic for their youth and their consistency to try to evolve. I think they are future contenders. They're getting there. And then you have the Bucks, who have two superstars, which you can't sleep on. If they make it into the playoffs, they're 5th right now. They're going to do some work. Miami Heat, about to lose Jimmy Butler. And to be honest with you, Jimmy Butler needs to go. And I love Jimmy, right? He's a phenomenal basketball player. But the truth is, NBA players don't get to speak publicly about wanting to be traded all the time, because they're getting millions of dollars and people look at them like they're the bad guy. And it's okay. He kind of admitted it. It was like, I'm not happy here. And I think we have to keep that energy and allow players to talk like that. And so he's going to be gone. Where is he going? Maybe they keep him for the whole year, and Miami will tank at some point, because they're either going to have to sit him out for the rest of the year or try to play him with that bad chemistry of him not wanting to be there. Pat Riley will move him out before the trade deadline, in my opinion. Then you got teams that are underperforming in the East that are supposedly top tier. Philly is not even in the playoffs. They're 11th right now. That's pretty sad, and I'm not comfortable with that. And then the Suns as well are also out of the playoffs as of today. So do you think that they can make it? You think that they're going to find a way? Those are the type of questions I have, but it's fun to watch. And speaking of fun to watch, the Spurs are just outrageously good, in my opinion, some of the best in the NBA basketball, but they're not winning. And they're basically a subpar 500 team. The Warriors also underperforming. Minnesota lost out on Karl Anthony Towns. Knicks are up on that one. And then from there, you have Clippers as well, who are also not doing so hot. Some of these teams that I just mentioned will move back up. And the question is, who will drop down? Could it be Memphis and the Rockets, who are literally number 2 and number 3 in the West? We'll see. But those are the type of things. It's fun and exciting basketball. Super interesting things that I'm loving about the NBA right now and enjoying. This is my personal, just a quick take. We're going to improve this and add segments like we're doing now with the Knicks, and kind of what to watch for. And let me know what you're looking for in the NBA nowadays. Hope y'all enjoyed this. See you on the next one.